Shai, I know you just respect great players, so you're in a series with a great player with Jokic. What have you learned just watching him play and watching him compete, or how he goes about his business in these kind of games?
Yeah, I think above all, like, he's very smart. I think that's what gives him his edge. He's very smart. He's always manipulating the game. He's always thinking plays ahead. He's reading the defenses, reading the offenses. Like, he's his intelligence is very high out there, and he's always using it.
Coach, in terms of confidence, to see a player like Shai, a young player, assume control in the second half and in the game's biggest moments, just from your own experience and your own vantage point, how do you see that pushing him and continuing to see him grow?
Yeah, Shai in particular?
Yes.
Yeah, I like our team. I don't think he had his fastball early tonight. I thought there were some plays that he could have gotten calls on. He didn't. He got hit. He went down there and played through that, and just didn't seem to be in the same rhythm and flow that he's normally in the first half. It's the playoffs. We're talking about Jokic the last couple games, but what the great players do is they rise, in the face of those challenges and adversities. And I just thought he got more and more composed as the game went on and settled into the game. And despite the fact that the pressure was mounting and it got hotter in there, he got cooler, and just kind of settled into it, made the right plays, let the game tell him what to do. He was unbelievable. He closed that thing down the stretch.
Shai, here we are, fourth quarter again. We have heroics with you guys. You've outscored them the last two fourth quarters significantly. What are you finding down the stretch?
Being aggressive, trusting the pass, trusting each other. Throughout the game, it's full of swings. You make shots, you miss shots. But just trusting our principles. And two games in a row, they've had our back, and we've been able to pull out a W.
Basketball fans, welcome back. So the Oklahoma City Thunder are up 3-2 on the Denver Nuggets, and they are one win away from making their Western Conference Finals appearance. The first time since 2016 when KD was there. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he has been phenomenal. He's been sensational, and he was able to pull off an impressive comeback. I remember when I was watching this postseason, there's a point where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he was laughing after Game 3 when they lost, and he was able to go ahead and take this Thunder team to go up 3-2. So in an epic battle in the OKC Thunder versus Denver Nuggets series, I mean, this second round matchup has been exemplary, and the winner of this series will determine the MVP, because this is the first time in a while we are seeing two MVP candidates go head-to-head in the postseason. So the NBA, mainstream media, the fans at large are suffering from voter fatigue for Nikola Jokic, and they don't want to vote for Nikola Jokic. And every single time Shai is able to get a win off Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets, they have that leeway that they can use and say, you know what, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he deserved this. And that's what they're doing right now. So just like some of the previous games of this series, the match was very close until the very end, with both teams exchanging runs from start to finish. After taking a narrow 2-point lead at the half, the Nuggets used their momentum to build a strong third quarter, which put them up by 8 going into the fourth. So in the final quarter, however, a 31-17 run gave the OKC Thunder the victory. This game, the final score was 112-105 and a 3-2 series lead. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was the leading scorer for the Thunder with 31 points, 6 boards, and 7 assists on 52.2% field goal shooting. Jalen Williams also has been very sensational this series with his 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists on 35.7% shooting. And also Isaiah Hartenstein, he had 15 points, 7 boards, and 2 assists on 70% shooting. So the players for the Thunder were very solid. So Nikola Jokic also had an MVP start line of 44 points, 15 boards, and 5 assists on a blistering 68% field goal shooting. So the man was efficient. And Jamal Murray, he had 28 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. And Aaron Gordon, he had 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists on 46% field goal shooting. So both teams were holding serve pretty well. So there's so much at stake at this, because the Denver Nuggets right now, they need 2 wins to be able to beat the OKC Thunder, and the Thunder are 1 win away. And there's a high likelihood that this series can play out all 7 games. And with so much at stake, it's no surprise that both teams are playing with a sense of urgency as the series progresses, and things will surely heat up because one team is on the brink of elimination. Because as we speak right now, we have win or go home situations in multiple places. So the Pacers were the first team to make the conference finals, the specific the East Finals. They're able to beat the Cavs in 5, and we have that series. The Boston Celtics are down 3-1 to the Knicks. That's a win or go home situation. The Minnesota Timberwolves are up 3-1 on the Golden State Warriors, win or go home situation for the Warriors. And right now, as we speak, the Denver Nuggets, they're fighting to survive and they're fighting to stay alive in this series. But will Shai Gilgeous-Alexander replicate a very stellar performance in Game 6? Because it's very important that he wins this so he can be able to close and put to bed that MVP run conversation. Like that, who's gonna get that MVP award? So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he has been good. He has been great. He's 31 points on 52% shooting from the field in 39 minutes was something that should not be taken lightly. And he's been on fire throughout the whole series, leading the Thunder offensively in each of the games so far, with an average of 28.8 points in the first 5 games of the series. So through this game that happened today morning, because I'm in Nairobi, he was particularly effective in the clutch, contributing 5 points during an 8-0 run the final moments of the game. In the fourth quarter alone, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he had 10 points, 3 assists, and 1 steal to help the Thunder compete and also complete the comeback, because it was very important the Oklahoma City Thunder to go ahead and have a solid performance. Because the series was started 2-2 and it was up 0. It was still 0-0. So getting this win at Game 5 was very important, proved very vital to show that, the Oklahoma City Thunder still have a chance, because we saw the madness that happened last season. The Oklahoma City Thunder was stopped in their tracks in the postseason. They were sent home early, and this one they have a legit shot to make it to the West Finals for the first time since 2016. That's like I said. So between his shooting from 3 and at the free throw line, Shai had the Thunder's offense humming, and he was always that person who came through when the Thunder needed a bucket. So with his true superstar fashion, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander can rise to the occasion, and he knows how to rise to the occasion. So the Thunder's defense was the story of this game, because for a young team with limited playoff experience, fans were impressed with how the defensive presence and defensive game plan for the Thunder was, especially with that whole situation of getting handsy with Nikola Jokic. So there are multiple reports that came out, even in previous games, especially in Game 4, and I was following it, that I almost said Nderitu Thunder, but the Oklahoma City Thunder were very handsy with Nikola Jokic, and Jokic was not able to find his game. And in this one, he was able to score 44 points, and the Thunder held their opponents to 105 points on 41.2% shooting and 28.3% from 3. So the best stretch was at the clutch moments of the game, and the Nuggets only limited to 19 points. So even despite the Thunder's defense, Jokic was able to have his occasional 40-point game, but still it was not effective because the Nuggets offense was not running on all cylinders. And with length, size, and impressive athleticism, the Thunder have everything they need to have an elite defense, and they're able to limit the other players for the opposing team. In this case, you can see even if Jokic had a very good performance, the other guys in the Denver Nuggets roster had a very not so great game. So yeah, it is what it is, and I was very excited to see the Oklahoma City Thunder have this type of game plan, because this was very important. So part of the game plan for the Thunder was forcing the Nuggets out of their comfort zone and onto the perimeter, and that's what they did. So the Nuggets attempted a franchise record 43, not even 43, but 46 3-pointers, but only made 13 to shoot just 28. So, I mean, I don't know why I saw 43. It was 46 3-pointers and only made 13 of them. So that was the worst. So this game was rough for the Nuggets, but their shooting struggles have been around since the start of the series. So in Game 4, the Nuggets shot 31% from the field, including a stretch where they went 0 for 14 from 3 in a single quarter. So as a team, the Nuggets are too dependent on the 3 right now, similar to what we saw from the Houston Rockets way back in 2018, and they just don't have the personnel to outshoot a team like the Thunder, who can go 10 deep on any given game that they have. So for a different outcome in Game 6, I don't know. The Nuggets just need to find a different strategy, because this bulk of shooting, having a lot of short attempts from deep and not even being able to even shoot at least 40 to 45% for an elite team like the Denver Nuggets. I feel like they're elite because the way they played their game led them to a championship when Mike Malone was there. But right now, they fired Mike Malone even before the postseason ended. And man, they're just trying to find that identity. And this is the wrong place to find the identity. So the Oklahoma City Thunder are just going to continue playing very well. And there's a high likelihood that this series might end up in 6 games. I don't think the Denver Nuggets have a legit shot at beating this OKC Thunder. We saw what happened last year with the whole Denver Nuggets versus Minnesota Timberwolves in the second round. I really felt like the Denver Nuggets could have at least gone back to back. But looking at the way that series panned out, you could see Nikola Jokic, when it really matters, the man just disappears. And also, not only him who disappears, but his teammates just disappear. And they just capitulate, because when we saw that 7-game, the series between the Minnesota Timberwolves last postseason and what we saw, what happened with the Minnesota Timberwolves, you could just see that the personnel that the Thunder had at that time, not even the Thunder, but the Nuggets at that time, they were very very inconsistent down the stretch. I don't know why I keep saying the Thunder, because it's a similar situation. We have in the second round, you're seeing Denver Nuggets versus Thunder this season. The previous season was the Minnesota Timberwolves. So all I'm just saying is, with a different game plan in Game 6, maybe limiting the threes and trying to capitalize on inside shots, maybe that's what is going to help them. But it is what it is. So I'm very excited. This has been a very good series. I mean, there were a couple of allegations that came out, especially when I was looking at this series in depth, and you could see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was being he was being accused by David Alderman, from the head coach for the Denver Nuggets, as a foul baiter, because he knows how to draw fouls very well. Something that is very important, especially in the postseason. You can see your ability to draw fouls and get to the line is something that it really helps the team, especially down the stretch. And I really did not understand, people trying to compare Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's game plan to be able to draw fouls and get to the line and Nikola Jokic, because there's a situation where a lot of people say that, why are they not being treated differently? Previously, I didn't understand it, but now, as the season and the series progressed, and with the recent happenings in the NBA draft lottery, which I'm going to address in another video, I've made multiple videos talking about the NBA draft lottery about a day ago, and one thing I can say is the NBA is trying to push for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to win the MVP award. And the last time an American won it was in 2018. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is Canadian. So there's that voter fatigue, and people are just tired of seeing Jokic win it. This will be his 4th MVP if he wins it. So I can say there's a different approach in terms of how these two players, Shai and Jokic, the way they are, reffed, especially when they play on offense. So you see a call that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets, he gets the whistle, and a call that Nikola Jokic should have got, it's not whistled as that, and sometimes it's even whistled as an offensive foul. So, I mean, I can say the NBA is rigged. I mean, I can't say I really fully did not understand it, but I really did. It's just that you just have to see some patterns that happen, and you just check the stats. So, I mean, that's another thing that came about. So it is what it is. So I really hope the Thunder are able to just close this down so they can go to the conference finals. I don't know, it's just dragging out. I just feel really tired of the second round. I just want to see the game go ahead and we see how teams pan out in the conference finals, because the games are reduced. You know, the teams are only 4, and I really don't I really don't like these win or go home situations. They create so much uncertainty. Okay, we have seen the Thunder be very dominant, especially that first round sweep on the Memphis Grizzlies, and also the Denver Nuggets. You know, they have been able to come back down 3-1 twice in a single postseason, where they did it in 2020 against the Utah Jazz and the Los Angeles Clippers. So will that still be the case? But all things considered, this series might go and play out all 7 games. So it is what it is. So do drop me your comments down in the comment section down below what you think about this. I've been enjoying this series. So I can say I've been enjoying it too much. And yeah, man, it is what it is. So I'm out. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
It's over there.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Bro, start dick run.
Nigga, who did run? Ain't nobody did run.
Sold out crowd. It's their first miss. They were 9 for 9. Leonard comes in and Green will sit.